Taking a deep breath after that one. Profits from the sale of the song will be going to two organizations, the British Columbia Childhood Cancer Parents Association and the James Fund, which was founded by my next guest. Sid Burrell lost his 8-year-old son James back in 2001. James had neuroblastoma. It's a type of cancer that occurs in children under 5. Back then, very little was known about the disease and doctors weren't able to help James, but his dad was determined to change that. He started the James Fund. It's raised millions for research, and Sid Burrell joins me now. Sid, we met years ago talking about this, and it's great to see you again.
It's good to be back.
What do you think of Megan? I'm still profoundly hit by that and her fight to really raise awareness and raise money. What do you think?
I'm closely connected with the group out there, and I attended their last annual retreat, and we've known each other for a long time. The kids' cancer community is very tight, very small. So Megan's song, when I first, well, I cried. What can I say? All of a sudden, I realized I'm not alone. This is what happens, and you feel so isolated when you're facing childhood cancer. And there's a message that's as powerful as this coming from an articulate young woman who is highly intelligent, full of love, full of care, and whose future is uncertain, and who has faced more medical intervention than 20 normal people would begin to face in their life. And yet she's standing up there and saying, I want to fight. It's tremendously moving. Of course, it connects me instantly with my own son and his same courageous, I'm going to fight. I'm always going to be fighting, Dad. And I also talk with him and say, well, maybe, you know, how do you keep doing it? And he said, I want to play with my friends. I want to get back to school, and I'm always going to be fighting cancer. So I see that same spirit with wonderful Megan.
Sid, when your son was fighting and you were realizing that there just wasn't enough either funding, research, resources there to help kids with cancer, how did that leave you feeling when you came face to face with this?
I felt betrayed. I felt, how is it that in this country where kids are so important, what? There's no research going on in neuroblastoma, that kids' cancer is getting just a tiny bit of the pot, and that no, it's a dirty, dark secret, and 1,400 kids diagnosed with cancer a year in Canada, or whatever the figure is, and no, there's not enough money there. As I become a little more savvy about it, I realize, be fair about it, Sid, a pharmaceutical's got to invest not just 5 million, 50 million, 500, it's $5 billion bucks to get a drug to the marketplace, and you've got to get some return on your money. So if there's 300,000 new breast cancer between Canada and the States, yeah, Herceptin, that's what's worth putting 5 billion or 50 billion in. But oh, I'm sorry, kids' cancer, 1,400. How many of those were neuroblastoma? Oh, I see, just a few hundred. I don't think we're ever going to be able to pay for any drugs. So that cuts out the pharmaceuticals. Then the government, too. The obvious thing is, well, there's just not a lot of votes with a few kids and their families fighting this. So it's left to the parents, to the kids, to the families to get on with it and raise the money and raise the awareness.
And that's what you have been doing. And tell me about that, too, because I know that this has become your life and your mission in life.
Leukemia is a success story. And my motivation came as James was relapsed, and I got the news, I'm sorry, he's not going to get better. We might be able to give you a year, but not 2. In fact, he got 26 months. So what is next? You don't stop as a parent. You got to keep going. So we phoned all our friends, said, come over to church Sunday night, bring your checkbook. We're starting the James Fund. I'd spoken to an oncologist who said, leukemia, childhood leukemia, 15 years. It went from 85% fatal to 85% of the kids. 15 years, threw a ton of money at it, got a lot of research going, and look what we did. Now it's about 95%. It's a real success story. And that doc said to me, we got to do the same with neuroblastoma. And I thought, is this the stone that's unturned in saving my son's life? So we started the James Fund, and very quickly, some fast track, crazy, out of the box thinking stuff that might be give him a chance was started. Now James died 8 months later. But somehow the James Fund kept going, and we'd started something new. The research, instead of building on solid, safe stuff and just incremental little bit of improvement on something that's there, that's not working for kids' cancer, and you need to do some radical stuff. So what we were coming up with the scientists at Sick Kids was a whole bunch of small projects, 25, 35,000 bucks, and peer-reviewed. We're not throwing money away. It's got to be by the best science. Try out a few crazy ideas and see what happens. Then bingo, one of them hit the jackpot, and that has changed globally how we look at neuroblastoma. Now there's a hub of connection from sick kids from the James Lab around the world, and there's a gang of us parents all raising money, Sam's Day, Shania's, Lila's, you know, we're all doing this stuff to make this happen, because no one else is going to do it.
Sid, I'm glad you're doing it.
Thank you.
And I'm doing it for James and for so many other people, and keep it up. We need you doing that.
I really appreciate that, and get the story out.
We're doing our part. Thank you
you.
so much. So do adult cancers get more attention than childhood cancers? Well, consider this. On September 10th, celebrities will come together for a major network special.